starting something, you got to be starting something. I say you wanna be starting something, you got to be starting something. Behind, get up, yeah, yeah. Too low to get under, yeah, yeah. You're stuck in the middle, yeah, yeah. Behind, get up, yeah, yeah. Too low to get under, yeah, yeah. You're stuck in the middle, yeah, yeah. I took my baby to the doctor with a fever and nothing she found. Down into the street, they said she had a breakdown. Someone's always crying, start my baby crying. Ooh, but the magic sends the music get to you. Nothing's so bad at all. So tonight, gonna leave this 9 to 5 up on the shelf and just enjoy yourself. The magic and the music gets you. Nothing's so bad at all. There's a magic in the music that you do. Life is so bad at all. If you take the chance to do it, then I bet no one is gonna put you.
Think audience, you've seen it, Jackie. What do you think audiences are going to think of it?
Say it one more time, Larry.
What do you think audiences who see it will think of it?
I think they're going to love Michael. They've always loved Michael. They like to see Michael perform, and this is the film about him putting his band together, rehearsing for his big show, the O2 Arena. I think it's going to be very exciting to see how he works behind the stage, behind the scenes. And this is what this is all about. I think it's going to be very exciting to see how he works behind the stage, behind the scenes. And this is what this is all about. I think it's going to be very exciting to see how he works behind the stage, behind the scenes. And this is what this is all about. Exciting to see how he works behind the stage, behind the scenes. And this is what this is all about.
Let me say, first let me say, I really don't like to talk that much. I really don't. I prefer to perform than talk, but you know, let me just say this. The tradition of great performers from, and I really want you to hear what I have to say. The tradition of great performers from Sammy Davis Jr. to James Brown to Jackie Wilson to Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly. The story is usually the same though, you know, these guys work really hard at their craft, but the story ends the same. They usually are broken, torn, and usually just sad, and the story is very sad in the end, because the companies take advantage of them. They really do. And Sony, being the artist that I am at Sony, I've generated several $1 billion for Sony. Several billion, and they really thought that my mind is always on music and dancing, and it usually is, but they never thought that this performer, myself, would outthink them. So we can't let them get away with what they're trying to do, because now I'm a free agent. I just owe Sony one more album. It's just a box set, really. It's with 2 new songs, which I've written ages ago. Because every album that I record, I write, like, literally, I'm telling you the truth, I write at least 120 songs every album I do. So I can do the box set and just give them any 2 songs. So I'm leaving Sony a free agent, owning half of Sony.
Owning half of Sony.
So I own half of Sony's publishing, and I'm leaving them, and they're very angry at me because of it. But I just did good business, you know.
Tell him! Tell him, Michael! Tell the story!
But, so, the way they get revenge is to try and destroy my album. But I've always said, you know, good art never dies. Thank you. I love Unbreakable. You know. And Tommy Mottola is a devil.
And Tommy Mottola is a devil.
Respect!
I'm not supposed to say what I'm gonna say right now, but I have to let you in on a secret.
Say it.
Please don't videotape what I'm going to say, okay? Turn that off, please. Know what? I don't mind. Tape it.
Oh! Michael is getting gangster today! Yeah.
Mariah Carey, after divorcing Tommy, came to me crying. She was crying so badly I had to hold her. And she said to me that this is an evil man. And Michael, this man follows me, she said. He taps her phones. And he's very, very evil, and she doesn't trust him. And he is a horrible human being. And we have to continue our drive until he's terminated. We can't allow him to do this to great artistry. We just can't. I just want you to know I appreciate everything you've done. You've been amazing. You're so loyal, Diana. Everybody, Waldo, all the people here, I love you all. You've been amazing.
Thank you!
I love you. It created so much joy for the world. And the system, meaning the record companies, totally took advantage of it. But this is very important, what we're fighting for. Because I'm tired, I'm really, really tired of the manipulation. I'm tired of how the press is manipulating everything that's been happening in this situation. They do not tell the truth, they're liars. And they manipulate our history books. The history books are not true. It's a lie. The history books are lying. You need to know that. You must know that. All the forms of popular music, from jazz to hip hop to bebop to soul, you know, to you talk about the different dances, from the cakewalk to the jitterbug to the Charleston to break dancing. All these are forms of black dancing. The minute it became the all-time best-selling album, they called me a homosexual. They called me a child molester. They said I tried to bleach my skin. They made everything to turn the public against me. This is all complete conspiracy. You have to know that. These will be my final show performances in London.
performances in London.
This will be it. This is it. And when I say this is it, it really means
When I say this,
this is it. It really means this is it.
Of involuntary manslaughter, a felony, Dr. Murray. How do you plead?
Your Honor, I am an innocent man. I therefore
What's your plea?
plead not guilty.
Thank you.
I truly feel that Conrad Murray is simply the fall guy. This was definitely something that was premeditated, that they had planned to do, and they planned to take my brother out, and my brother knew it, and that's why he told me repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly that this was going to happen to him. He explained it to me. He explained it's because of my catalog, which is my publishing, and they're after it, and they want it, and they want their hands on it, and they want to take it away from me. So Michael developed this love-hate relationship with his catalog. I don't want it because it's going to destroy my life. No, it's mine. I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to let them rip it apart and take it from me. This went back and forth. I began to see his personality change. Michael had notes in his house saying how he hates John Branca, he hates Randy Phillips, he doesn't want them around, he'll never fly with them. He just went on and on expressing how he felt about these people. These people were all involved. Mind you, the will, I truly believe and I know that the will is fake. Because Michael was in New York when the will was signed, and they say he signed it in LA, and he did not. And they know this. But yet they put themselves as the executors on this estate. There was another guy that was in the will, Barry Siegel, but he pleasantly removed himself from it. Why would he do that? Because he knew that it was fake and he wasn't going to get involved in the skullduggery.
Something
That's
terrible
why.
would happen at the end, not to mention the fact that Michael constantly told me, Latoya, if I die, they're going to murder me, they're going to kill me. He would tell me that, Barbara, and that's when Michael passed. When I found out he had actually passed, I said, no, it wasn't an accident. He was murdered.
Your brother was murdered.
I always believed that from day one. I said, I'm not going to accept anything else, Barbara. They could have told me a heart attack. They could have told me he had fallen off a ladder, and I would have said, no, it's not a heart attack. He was murdered.
Said you want to be starting something, got to be starting something. Hey, but look, all right, what's going on, y'all? Y'all already know what it is. I got to come back and just, kind of sum up everything that I showed y'all in the video, get a few points across your head, because I know, some of y'all may have watched that whole video and might not have been convinced that, this stuff was going on behind the scenes, or that Michael Jackson was actually involved with the occult, so just open up your mind to it, obviously Michael Jackson, he was huge. He was huge, bro. Biggest artist ever, king of pop, he took a lot of souls with him, to kind of just pit it, in a just a straight up way. He took a lot of souls, as they say, he stole a lot of hearts. And that's the reason why I wanted to do this video, because a lot of this stuff, I've known for a while, when I was just really being a student of finding truth and just, just going down rabbit holes, a lot of this stuff shocked me. A lot of it blew my mind. I couldn't believe it, and, now that I've kind of, I'm able to kind of be a teacher a little bit, I'm still a student, but, kind of be a little bit of a teacher and just put other people on to the things that I found in the past about Michael Jackson, the occult, and just the entertainment industry and everything, all in one. Because like I said, he stole a lot of hearts. He stole a lot of hearts, and that is one of the main reasons why I put in the video the piece about Aleister Crowley, him channeling spirits, and that whole connection behind the Pepsi incident, and just the numerology of just, his timeline, like his span of life, because everything happened, like perfectly planned, especially by the numbers, Of course, if you want to take it, and first I did the video, the video could have been an hour long. It easily could have been an hour if I wanted to just touch every single, like, major topic, but I didn't want to present it that way. This wasn't like a, you know, a biography or anything. This was just like to really center everything around like the demise and the connection to the occult, so we can really just have an understanding of what we were dealing with Michael Jackson and the power that he attained from the spirit world, you know, because without doing that, he wouldn't even have been who he was, you know, to the world. So, you know, and of course, you know, I could have covered everything with Joe Jackson, you know, could have covered more with Conrad Murray. But like I said, I didn't want to just dwell on those things because I would have been like skipping over the major point that I was really trying to make y'all see, which was the connection to the occult and the fact that we may have not even been looking at the real Michael Jackson the entire time from after that Pepsi event where he got severely burned. So I like to just, you know, focus on one major area of the entire, you know, situation, just to, you know, keep the attention there. You know what I'm saying? So that was the reason why I did the video the way I did it. So it was, you know, that's why I didn't touch much on when they were kids, and, you know, the fact that Joe Jackson pretty much had a big hand in the entire situation, obviously, because, you know, it would have just been a lot, you know, to touch on the shit that I heard that Joe Jackson would do. You know, I think Jermaine even said one time that Joe Jackson, he used to drop Michael off at these like random hotels for meetings, and Michael would be gone for like days, and he would come back sick as hell and shit. And this was when Michael was real young, so we could only imagine, you know, what kind of rituals they were putting him through as a child. You know, basically sold to the industry. You saw him as a child throwing up the throwing up the 666 as a child, you know. So clearly I don't think he quite understood what he was doing back then, but we all know, you know, Joe's hand and basically his life shit throughout the entire time, especially when he was a kid. So, you know, we know that pretty much. I didn't really want to touch on that too much in the video, you know. So when we get to the fact that he was connected to Aleister Crowley, that's when this situation becomes, you know, it becomes really deep, because I've said this in a video before. And I think I was talking about XXX, and I was telling y'all how he channeled spirits as well to become as big as he was. Because look, and you do not, you know, you don't get people's, you're not able to steal their heart and create this huge energy around yourself and your music without channeling spirits, you know. Like Michael Jackson used to make people faint, especially women, used to make them faint, fall out when they saw him, fall completely out, bro. Look, nothing can make you fall out, like in real life, you know, unless you've like, you know, you done some kind of drug, you done smoked too much weed and got hot or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, nothing really makes you faint. You know, riding high on a roller coaster, these are like the regular things that will make you faint in life, you know what I'm saying? A person cannot make you faint. Like, you can't just see someone and be like, oh, and then you sleep. No, that does not happen. And why I'm getting to that, why I'm telling you that, is because those are spirits. He's tugged on your energy. He has a piece of your heart. Literally, he has a piece of your energy. So when you see him, those spirits pull that energy and cause you to faint. They're taking your energy. They're harvesting your energy. You fainting like that, they literally just sucked a piece out of you. That's why you fainted in the first place. And these artists that had that power on people, it is because they did rituals. They channeled these spirits, which made them as big as they are, helped them write better songs. Michael Jackson said himself that he got a lot of his hit songs out of his dreams and stuff when he was asleep. The dude used to sleep for like days at a time. You see what I'm saying? It was even stuff about him having mirror rooms where he used to do the rituals to channel in certain spirits, because he learned that from the 7-7 book of writings from Aleister Crowley, which Aleister Crowley is like a founder of his own satanic religion. You know, he's the do as thou wilt guy. You know, the shirt that Jay-Z wore one day. Y'all know who Aleister Crowley is. If you don't, go and look him up. Go and look up, you know, these secret magic societies, these black magic societies, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, and plenty more. You can go and look this stuff up. It's real. It's very real. So he was basically a famous occultist. You know, he was, yeah, he was damn near the spawn of Satan, you know. But anyway, you know, Michael Jackson, he channeled in these spirits to become who he was. And one of the spirits, which you guys may know this term, you may have saw something about this spirit called the Corbants. Corbants, Corybants. These spirits, they worshipped a goddess, an ancient goddess. These spirits called Corbants worshipped this ancient goddess, right? And in turn, these spirits that worship the ancient goddess, they danced like Michael. These spirits cause you to like scream at the top of your lung and basically dance uncontrollably. That's what these spirits are. That's what they do. And these are the dances that they do for basically the goddess that they worshipped. I think the goddess name was Sybil or something like that. I kind of skimmed over when I read it. So this like, I was mind blown, bro, because this is exactly, and this is real shit. Go look up Corbants. Go look up Spirit of Corbants. Corbant spirits, whichever way you want to type it. This is why Michael Jackson danced and yelled the way he did, like, wee yee hoo, you know, all that shit that he was doing. This was because the spirits had possessed Michael Jackson's body and made him dance the way that he danced. Although, I think Michael Jackson, he got the moonwalk from Sammy something. I forget dude's name. What was his name? Like Sammy something? I forget his name. But I don't think Michael Jackson was the originator of the moonwalk. And the Sammy dude, he was like really, really close friends with the founder of the Church of Satan, which was Antoine LaVey, or LaVey, or however you say his name. Basically, Antoine LaVey, he was like the same dude as Aleister Crowley. These are like two high satanic, like, priest type of motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? Basically like the founders of damn, you know, the satanic church and all that crazy shit. Y'all can go look them up. Antoine LaVey, Aleister Crowley. But the dude that Michael learned the moonwalk from, he was really close with Antoine LaVey. So that lets you know where the dude Sammy got his dances from channeling those spirits. And even look, Quincy Jones even said that one time Michael Jackson, he was dancing like they were at the studio one time, and Michael Jackson was dancing so much that he said he couldn't feel his body, and that he was dancing himself out of the studio into the middle of the street, just dancing uncontrollably. And guess what those Corbant spirits make you do? They make you dance uncontrollably as if you can't feel your body. That's what they do. You can go look it up. I'm not making this shit up for views or to make this channel look better. No. When I found this shit out, I was like, yo, I couldn't believe it, because it makes sense. it makes sense. Now, some of y'all may be like, oh, you know, you can dance and learn how to dance and be original and all this and good shit. Yeah, that's true. Plenty of people know how to dance and make up dances and do all of this stuff. But on the level of Michael Jackson had help from the spirit world, from the spirits that he was possessed by. No matter how innocent and stuff you thought that Michael Jackson was, he took a part in the occult. He practiced this secret dark magic, and he invited these spirits into his life. Because, you know, things were like the entire story of Michael Jackson is, you know, it's definitely a big mystery, you know, because you can go so many different ways. And that's why I presented that after that Pepsi event, you know, that he may have been, he may have had a body double after that, because you just never know. And a lot of his fans, especially female fans, like, females don't miss, bro. And I have seen multiple females talk about the fact that after that Pepsi event, that Michael wasn't the same. He didn't move the same. His voice was different. His dancing was different. Like, they were pointing out so much shit. Like, that's who I got it from a female to start paying attention. So I started going back, watching the tours and shit of all the tours he did after the Pepsi event, and I started to see it myself. His voice was different in certain tours that he was doing, and he even looked taller. Like, you know, some nights he would look taller than the other night. One night he would look small and petite, and another night he would look a little bit bigger framed. You know what I'm saying? So I started paying attention to what these random women would be seeing, and like I said, women don't miss, bro. They can tell when something doesn't change. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously they were like super in love with Michael Jackson, so they paid attention to everything. They even noticed the size of his hands were smaller and bigger on, you know, certain nights and shit. So I started paying attention, like, yo, I think this is very much true. And clearly at the O2 conference, that was a fucking body double. Once I saw that was not Michael Jackson on stage, that made me question everything. I was like, okay, now we really have to go back to the Pepsi event, because now we don't know what Michael Jackson we was looking at. I think the entire skin disease shit was fake. You know? Maybe one had a skin disease, maybe another one didn't. You know what I'm saying? Completely, you know, damn, my chest started itching. But you know, I just didn't know. I didn't know. It made me question everything. That's why I went back and started studying him in the mid-'80s when he was doing all those concerts and shit overseas, right? So that is, you know, when we're talking about all the spirits and the connections with Aleister Crowley, that's what made me find that part about him, about his everything being done like in the middle of a certain number. You know, he was 25 years old at the Pepsi event. 25 years later, he died. Died on June 25th. 2 + 5, 7. 2 + 5, 7. 2 + 5, 7. 777. So that's how I made that connection, you know, just to explain it. Not trying to go back over the same thing I showed y'all in the video, but just to better explain it, that's how I came up with the 777 connection to Aleister Crowley outside of what I had already known, because I already knew he had that book from Aleister Crowley. And then once I saw all the 25s, I put the 777s together, and that's what truly, you know, solidified the connection to Aleister Crowley, right? So, you know, I don't want to keep this talk going too long, but I really wanted to touch on those 2 points as far as him being related and, you know, channeling those spirits from Aleister Crowley, those books and those writings that taught him to do that. The fact that he definitely used body doubles throughout his entire career. Honestly, I don't know what the fuck happened to the real Michael. The shit is an entire sham, to go from a young black boy with a little afro and then go completely genderless, you know, look like a woman, you know, whatever, you know, basically after the Pepsi event, everything started to change, you know, and this is why I think they either got rid of the original Michael or they had a body double of him, because everything started to change. He was in the news more. That's when you had the shit about the little kids, you know, supposedly molesting the kids and paying off the lawyers. You know, usually when you pay somebody off, that means the shit was true. But this could have been the body double of Michael Jackson that was doing the molesting with the kids and doing the rituals. That I'm not completely sure of. That's why I say this shit is such a mystery. It's such a rabbit hole that you can take, you know, one piece of the mystery and just go with that for the entire road and just believe that, you know, and leave out the rest of the shit so you don't crowd your mind. You know, just choose something. You know what I'm saying? That's almost how big the mystery is. Choose something that you want to believe and just believe that, because, you know, getting down to the bottom of it and finding out everything is never going to happen. So, you know, at least we can be aware of the deception behind Michael Jackson, and we can understand what exactly he was, because we, you know, you were all tricked. You were tricked, bro. You know, you were tricked. He pulled your heart. He took millions of souls with him, and that's just, it is what it is at the end of the day. You know, he took millions of souls, bro. Millions. You know what I'm saying? So that pretty much sums up, you know, how I feel about Michael Jackson. And we don't even want to talk about the death photo of Michael Jackson. That shit looks so fake, it don't make no sense. Look, I found a video real quick. I found a video on YouTube where somebody broke down the death photo, right? And they were saying that the stretcher, and the stretcher that Michael Jackson was laying in, they said it was impossible for him to have been at the UCLA Medical Center. Why? Because these people looked up that stretcher. The stretcher was made by a company called Stryker, like Stryker Medical Supplies, right? This dude took it as far to call Stryker, the company that made those stretchers. He found out what series of stretcher that was that Michael Jackson was laying on. And he contacted the UCLA Medical Center. This was all 10 years ago, right, when Michael Jackson died. The video is 10 years old. He called the UCLA Medical Center and found out the version of stretchers that they were currently using was not the one that Michael Jackson was laying on in the death photo, which would make that death photo pretty old. Now, I know that seems like a stretch, but he actually talked to like a manager that was in the hospital, and they said they got rid of those old stretchers like years before Michael Jackson ever died. So when I saw that video, I was like, wow, for somebody to take like that, you know, they did some fucking digging, bro. Nobody would have thought to do no shit like that to find out what kind of stretcher the hospital still has. And they even pulled up photos of recent patients that same year inside of UCLA Medical Center, and all of them were on the newer stretchers, not the stretcher that Michael Jackson was laying on. Like, his stretcher was like, it was like straight up. The bars on it were straight up. The newer stretchers were like, you know, bent. They were like kind of like at an angle going straight up into the bar, you know, that holds all the pieces. So when I saw that, and then plus you could just look at the death photo and you can tell it was a part of a ritual, you know, like Tupac, King Von recently, Michael Jackson, and plenty more where they show the dead body after they're actually dead. That's one thing that lets you know this was all a big ritual. So, yeah, man, look, at the end of the day, it is what it is, bro. And I ain't gonna keep going too much longer. I'm already probably at about 40 minutes now. If I feel like I missed some things or I want to come back on this, I'll make a part 2. You know, y'all feel free to just, you know, load it up in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. Give me y'all insights. You know, tell me what y'all think. What y'all think about, you know, the mystery of the King of Pop, Michael Jackson, man. So, y'all already know what it is, man. Black Bloom, I'm out.